everyone, and welcome to another week. So this is going to be a very short one and a little bit of a different one, but basically we're just going to go over how to greet people in 3 different languages in very short, very simple ways. Something cool for you to impress your friends with, or also if you're kind of interested in these languages, a great point to start, especially if you intend on visiting any of these countries in the future. So the languages that we're going to do are obviously Korean. We'll also look at the differences of how you say hello in North Korea and in South Korea, Japanese and Chinese. As you know, all of these languages also write in different scripts, so I'll make sure to put it in the video description here below so you can see the greeting, how it's written down in the written form, and also the pronunciation to the side as well, so you can make sure to note it down for future use. So just before we get into it, I want to say thank you to my patrons, Clarke, James, Charles and Alex. Thank you so much for supporting my channel, and without further ado, let's get on to our first language, Korean. So in South Korea, a very, very common greeting which you'll have probably heard before if you watch any dramas, if you listen to anything Korean, any movies, anything like that, is 안녕하세요, 안녕하세요. This literally means, are you at peace? It's actually a question. 안녕하세요. To reply to this, you can say 네, yes, 안녕하세요. Yes, I am at peace. And then you can go to ask it further. Are you at peace? 안녕하세요. So a conversation kind of sounds quite weird, but it will be 안녕하세요. 네, 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. 네, 안녕하세요. I think my pronunciation's okay, but any Korean speakers, please let me know below how I can improve. Slightly different, moving on to North Korean. So one of the big differences between Korean in North and South, they're obviously the same language, but a big difference is the politeness markers and how polite you are when you speak to people. In North Korea, they are a lot politer, especially when greeting someone who is of a higher status than you or someone older than you. So you wouldn't generally say 안녕하세요 unless it's a friend or a family member. Instead, you would say 안녕하십니까? 안녕하십니까? This meaning is exactly the same. It's just a little bit politer. To reply to this, you've got to change it up a little bit. So you say 네, 안녕하십니다. Da at the end is the marker showing that it is just a sentence. It's not a question. Ka means it's a question. So you have 안녕하십니까 is a question, and 안녕하십니다 is just a statement. The next one is Japanese. So one of the most common greetings is konnichiwa, konnichiwa. This literally means good day, and it can generally be used throughout the whole day. It's one of the most common greetings, and it literally means like this day, today. You can also say good morning or good evening. Good morning in a friendly way is ohayo, and if you want to be slightly more polite, you can say ohayo gozaimasu, ohayo, ohayo gozaimasu. In the evening, you can say konbanwa, konbanwa, and this literally means this evening or tonight, similar to konnichiwa, konnichiwa, konbanwa, konbanwa. Today, tonight. And again, these are not questions unlike Korean, and indeed unlike Chinese that we'll do next, so you just reply in the same manner. Konnichiwa, konnichiwa. Next up is Chinese. So a lot of people know the greeting ni hao, ni hao. This literal meaning is quite interesting. So ni hao literally means like you good. And so if you want to add a question on the end, you can say ni hao ma, which means how are you? If you want to simply say hello, you can just say ni hao. So if you just want to say hello, a conversation might go like this. Ni hao, ni hao, hello, hello. If you want to ask how someone is, you can add in ma, which is the question at the end. Ni hao ma. And to reply to this, you can say 我很好, which means I'm very good. 我, I'm, very, 很, 好 is good. So that's 你好吗? How are you? 我很好. 你好吗? I'm very good. How are you? And that is about it. So those are very, very simple, absolutely basic phrases that I hope I lined out pretty simply for you guys so that you can test your skills out with your friends. Maybe you know some Korean, Chinese, Japanese people. And if you are going to the country, these phrases are absolutely a must to learn. And with countries opening up again now, if you're going on holiday to Korea or Japan, it's definitely something you need to know. Thanks for joining me this time. The next ones on languages will be discussing more about why I believe Chinese is the most easiest language out of all of them that I've learned. A Chinese explainer video where I go through the basics of explaining how Chinese works, and also how you can get from absolute zero to pretty much expert in Chinese in just 2 years. Those will be my top tips. So if you like this kind of video, then do like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.